What is going on, everybody? It is Hayward here with Coach Hayward, and today I have a wonderful training. This is going to be one of my favorite trainings to date. I'm obsessed with this stuff because this is the answer to 99% of our struggles when it comes to weight loss and just making any kind of change in life, and that is our freaking stubborn habits. Those bad habits that hold us back from our goals. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So how do we break our bad habits? How do we form new habits? And the whole 9 yards. So today I'm going to talk about three main things. First of all, we're going to talk about why do we have habits in the first place, so you guys can actually understand habits in itself. Then we're going to talk about how to break the habit. Then we're going to talk about how to form new habits, okay? So this is going to be important for everybody to watch, but most important for the people who have bad eating habits, okay? Maybe a late night snacking, if you overeat on weekends, whatever it may be, little specific things like that. I know so many of you have a challenge when it comes to those bad habits. So today we're going to talk about them and how do we break them, because honestly, in my program, we go over this so much, and we have a whole section literally just for this because this is so important. Because if you want to make a permanent transformation in your life with anything that you do, you got to make sure your habits, your mindset, and your beliefs are on track as well. Because here's an example. Let's say, you hop on a diet, right? Just a random diet like keto, and you do the keto diet and you lose the 30 pounds, but deep down that you don't want to give up carbs for the rest of your life. Like, that's not the way you want to live your life. And you just do it temporarily though, just to lose the weight, right? Well, after you are done losing that weight, what's going to happen is that you're going to fall back right into your old habits, and therefore you're going to get the same result over and over again, because we live most of our lives in our subconscious mind, okay? This is where our habits, our beliefs, our traumas are. So what that means is that if you were overweight before that keto diet that you did, right, and whatnot, if you're overweight and struggling, then those are your habits, okay? That is your lifestyle, that is your habits. So you can do the keto diet short term and you can make those changes happen, but the second that you stop that diet, you go right back to your old habits. And therefore, eventually, you're going to get the same result over and over again, which means you're going to gain the weight back, okay? Because that is how you run your life. That is 96% of your life. We're only conscious about, I think it's like 4 or 5% of the time. Other than that, everything else is habits, and it's just running our subconscious mind, okay? It's like airplane mode. Another example is you can drive to work in the morning, and you can be daydreaming about the craziest things in the world, and the reason why is because you're so used to driving to work in the morning that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to be consciously aware, because it's just kind of happening for you. It's robotic, okay? So that's why this is so important. That's why we need to know about our habits and how to break the bad ones and form new ones if we're serious about making a change. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be completely transparent. As we get older, it's much harder. I believe it's I don't know if it's in our 20s. I'm pretty positive that we kind of form, solidify our characteristics, our habits, and our actions. But that doesn't mean that you can't change, okay? That doesn't mean that you can't change your habits at all. It's just a little more different, and we gotta be a little more particular when it comes to it, okay? So, another example, people quit smoking, okay? When they're 30, 40, 50, 60s. People on my program, they lose weight. I have clients who have been in their 60s. I have clients in their 60s. I have clients in their 50s, and they make these permanent changes happen. So it's 1,000% doable. Let's jump into it. So, why do we run our lives on our habits, okay? Let's talk about why this happens in the first place. The reason why we run our lives on our habits is because, first of all, if you guys have any questions as I go, just comment down below so I can help you out. But why do we run our lives on our habits? Okay, that's the $1 million question. Well, the reason why is because just imagine for a second if you had to always think about breathing. Imagine if you always had to think about how to walk. Imagine if you always had to think about opening and closing your eyes. It would be so mentally draining. You wouldn't be able to do it for long because you would run out of energy all the time because it'd always be on your mind. You always be running and thinking about it. So that's why we build habits, okay? So our brains and our bodies can conserve energy. So we run it on a program over and over again. Okay, habits like the cue, the trigger, and the craving, everything, it is run on a program. It's over and over again the same pattern, which we're going to talk about here soon. So that's why we have habits though, and whatnot, is that we want something to conserve energy, Okay. And another thing too is like, to stay alive, we need to be safe, right? Like, it's like, if you look way back when we were evolving over time and we were like caveman and everything, like the main purpose was like to survive, right? Reproduce, survive, get food. So therefore, we built these habits in place to keep us safe. Okay. So that way we don't, do stupid things that get us killed. So that's another reason. So that is why we have habits, okay? That is exactly why. It's to conserve energy. We're very routine and pattern animals, and a lot of animals are too. If you actually just like sit and observe and watch animals, a lot of them are just stuck in these patterns and these routines and everything. It's like robotic. It's pretty crazy, which is so fascinating though, because if you can change this, you can change this, you can change everything around you, which is amazing, okay? So let's dive into this. Now, the brain, how the brain runs through it every single time, just to explain it to you, is first as a cue, okay? So it's like your trigger almost to trigger the habit in the first place, okay? So if you're a smoker, maybe your cue is like, it's coming around that time where it's almost lunchtime, and your body will actually almost get prepared for it, okay? Withdrawals, everything like that, right? So your body almost gets prepared for it because it's such a pattern to you. It's so cool. So there's first a trigger. So maybe if you're a smoker, it's like you smell the smell of a cigarette, or it's like almost lunchtime, it's almost break time, so it's that 5-minute break to go smoke outside. And then the next thing is the craving, okay? And this is where you can't stop thinking about it. It's over and over and over and over in your mind. So this is maybe if you have that extra snack at night, or if you're a snacker at night, whatever it may be, and it's around like, you see the time, it's 10 p.m. Automatically, it's like, 10 p.m., it's nighttime. Ooh. Chocolate. Oh, chocolate. That tastes so good. Oh, chocolate. And you can't stop thinking about it. So that's craving. Okay, your body wants it. Now the next thing is the response, and that's where you go and you give in. You go grab the chocolate and you make it happen. You give into that habit, that craving. And then it's the reward, and it's the reward of feeling good. So you hit the dart, and next you feel the feeling, the nicotine, whatever the feeling that you get from it. That's what the reward for you. Okay, with chocolate, it's the sugar. It's like oh my gosh, the feeling of the taste of the food, so good. So that's the reward. Okay, so that is kind of how our brains run through our habits. Okay, that's very important to know. How do we break these habits though? Like, how do we actually break this freaking habit so this cycle doesn't have to keep going? A lot of you struggle with eating patterns, your eating habits. So how do we break this? Okay, so first and foremost, I'm just going to bullet point, go through a bunch of different things I have jotted down for y'all. First and foremost is killing the pattern. Okay, what I mean by killing the pattern is we got to stay aware, okay? We got to stay aware, because if not, we get sucked back into that subconscious mind, we get sucked back into our habits, and we're not consciously thinking, and we're just living in for that craving. We're not thinking about, how am I going to feel about this tomorrow? If I give into this snack tonight, we're not thinking about, am I going to regret this tomorrow? All we're thinking about is, ooh, it's going to taste so good. I want that sugar. So we got to kill the pattern, okay? We got to have an interruption there so we can stay mindful and present. So an example is that if you tend to give into the granola bars at nighttime and stuff, right? Well, number one, I'd say just stop buying them, but that's not always realistic, because sometimes you have kids, right? And sometimes they really want them, whatever it may be. And even to that point, I'd say maybe stop buying them as well. But anyways, let's say if you just can't not stop buying the snacks. What you could do is make it harder for you to retrieve them. So make it harder for you to have them. So therefore, instead of leaving snacks out on the counter where it's like, oh, trigger, boom, see the snack, want the snack, craving, and then boom, get into the snack. Hide it way back in that cupboard. Hide it behind the fruit. Hide it behind the cupboard so it's hard for you to get to them. So if you really want it, you have to really work for it. Okay? Because then it's going to snap you into reality and wait, why is this so hard? Why is the snacks way up in the cupboards and I have to go climb to get them? Oh shit, it's because I'm trying to break this habit. So that's going to help break that pattern, okay? So another thing is you can take all your snacks, dump them out into a plastic container right on the top of it, some sort of reminder, like your goal or whatever it may be. Just break the pattern, okay? So that's number one, staying aware, having those reminders to break the pattern. Number two is very similar. It's very similar to the first one, is just make it harder for that cue. Okay, make it harder for that, like for you not to have that trigger. So if you're a smoker, well, I recommend you not really try to hang out with smokers, because if you hang around with smokers all the time, even if you're not a smoker, eventually you might just give in and start smoking. Okay, so that's why we got set ourselves up for success. So if you're working on quitting smoking, get away from smokers. Okay, or if you're friends with them, ask them, like, please don't offer me a cigarette ever again. Don't talk to me about cigarettes. Don't ever come near me with the smell, anything, because we don't want that cue. Okay, so with eating, for example, your environment, set your environment up for success. If you want that chocolate, you got to go out and buy it. Okay, you can't order it from Uber Eats. Delete Uber Eats. You can't have it because it's not at the home. So if you have to want it, you got to go buy it. Okay, make it harder for yourself. Put in obstacles in the way of these bad habits, so you're more likely not to go give into it. Okay, so because eventually your willpower will run out and you will give into it. Okay, most of the time it's hard. So we want to set ourselves up for success. Now the next thing, ask if there's a why behind it. First of all, like, why am I doing this in the first place? Like, why am I having this late night snack? Is it from stress? Am I going through something? What's going on? The next thing though is why you want to change. Okay, you have to have an actual reason behind wanting to change. So it's like, let's say for smoking, so well, geez, like I don't want cancer. I always use smoking because it's the easiest one we all know about, right? So it's like smoking. It's like, well, geez, I don't want cancer. Okay, I don't want to die. I don't want my lungs to get ruined. I don't want to have a horrible cough. Like whatever it may be, find your why. For food, it's like, well, I don't want to be overweight anymore. I don't want to have diabetes. I don't want to be struggling with, whatever it may be. Find that why. Have an important reason behind it and remember it and print that into your mind of why you're doing what you're doing. Now, the next one is prepare. So this is like being realistic. So this is just a side note I want to add in, is like, expect yourself to mess up. Don't expect yourself to get perfect every single time in the first time around. Expect there to be challenges along the way and be realistic. So that way, when you do mess up, you don't fall off and completely quit trying to quitting. You get back up and you try again and again and again. Okay? So that kind of lines me into breaking this bad habit, is never quit. Like, never give up on it. Just keep trying and trying and trying. I love the analogy of, like, if you knock on a door long enough, eventually someone's going to open it up. Okay? So if you try and try and try, eventually your brain's going to be so sick and tired of being proven wrong and whatever it may be, and it's going to start working with you. It's going to start putting those new neuron connections together so you can break these habits. Okay? So the next thing here is, let's see, so be realistic. Is there a why? Okay, so the next thing is small goals and big goals. Okay, so don't really set big goals for yourself. Set really small goals. Okay, and when it comes to breaking this habit, I'm not going to snack tonight. I'm not going to snack for a whole week long. Now I'm not going to snack for 3 weeks. And you just keep building up, because small wins lead to bigger wins over time. You build momentum. Okay, and momentum is key on this journey. Now, the next thing, as I mentioned, is, again, never quit. Consistency is key with breaking these habits. We got to consistently work on this every day. Okay, we got to keep it in our mind, because if not, we forget and we go back to square one every time, because that's how we are. Okay. So lastly is routine is key. Okay, get into a solid routine with this that is aligned with where you want to go. If you know that the late night snacking is going to happen and that's the biggest challenge, well then find some hobby or something to replace at nighttime, so you're not necessarily, around to give them that snacking. If you're a bored eater and you watch TV while eating all the food and everything, well then perhaps cut out the habit of watching TV and make it so you go for a walk or spend time with your family at night or whatever it may be, or prep them for the next day, or take a bath, whatever it may be. So set up that routine that doesn't align with that habit that you want to break. And then another thing too that you can do is visualizing yourself actually breaking the habit. Okay, visualizing yourself feeling it, that you've broken this habit once and for all and you're into this new routine, that helps tremendously. So that is how we break the habit. Now let's talk about how we build on new ones. Okay, so once we break these habits, the next thing, like I said, is building a new habit. So how do we build a new habit? So there's those 4 things that I mentioned here. Okay, so the cue, craving, response, and reward. So when it comes to building a new habit, number 1, you want to make it very, 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 very clear. Okay, and what I mean by that is like make it very, very clear, very, very easy. So just an example, if you want to eat more fruit, okay, if you want to have a protein shake every day, whatever it may be, well then leave that protein powder right on the counter. Okay, so right when you come in, you see it right then and there, so odds are you're more likely to have it. Okay, instead of hiding it in the counter where you're going to forget about it, leave it out for you to see so it can start that cue. Okay, make it very, very, very clear. Okay. Next thing, make it enjoyable and make it quite easy at first, okay? So for example, if you're trying to get into the habit of working out, make it easy. 20 minutes dancing, okay? Do something you like to do, moving. I'm gonna go for a walk for 20 minutes 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, okay? Do that consistently, eventually it's a habit, and then next thing you know, you can level that up. Okay, instead of walking, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna work out. Okay, and I'm gonna work out consistently, boom, 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 get her done. Okay, so that's that there. Now the next thing is make it worth it, make it satisfying to yourself. So for example, let's say if you do get those walks in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, well then perhaps treat yourself to making a delicious dinner. Like I'm gonna make a steak, okay? For me, it's like I love steak so much. So it's like, you know what? For my reward, I'm gonna go buy a beautiful, amazing, juicy steak every Monday, Wednesday, Friday that I get it done, and that's gonna be my reward. And then as you can see, it lines with those 4 things that I just mentioned before to help build these new habits and break new habits, okay? How habits are formed. And eventually, it's just gonna become second nature and it's gonna be automatic for you, okay? Now, the last one is staying present and staying aware of why you're doing what you're doing and just being mindful as well through your day so you can actually break the pattern, because we need to be consistent with working on this to actually break it, okay? Because it's going to be a battle with your willpower, everything. I mean, anybody who's ever smoked before or has battles with their food and stuff, you get it. You get how, hard it is at first to break those patterns, okay? But once you do, it changes your life. Okay, it changes everything. It changes everything. Like, for example, if you break the bad habits with your food, then let's say like you overeat at nighttime, okay, or you snack way too much at nighttime. Well, you're gonna start sleeping better. More sleep is going to give you more energy. More energy is going to give you more motivation to work out. Okay, more working out is going to help you build more muscle. More muscle is going to boost your metabolism. Boost your metabolism is going to help with the weight loss. Then you're going to want to dive into it more because you're looking and feeling awesome, and it's going to keep going and going and going. Okay, it's like all about choosing what cycle you want to live in. Both of them are hard. Okay, both of them are hard. Do you want to choose a cycle of struggling in your body, having no energy, feeling like crap every day, not fitting your clothes, or do you want to deal with the cycle of working on building those habits and the consistency, going to the gym, getting a sweat on, working out, feeling a little bit of pain in your body, whatever it may be, to work on yourself. Choose your hard, okay? So the next one, that's actually it there for building new habits, okay? So I try to make it as clear as possible for you, as understandable as possible, but that is it right there on how you can build new habits. Now, a little extra is, remember, one small change might seem so small, but it can really change so much, okay? It can cause that ripple effect, like I just mentioned there. Same thing, cigarettes, for example, another one is like, I saw the stat where it's like people spend, I forget how much it was now. I think it was over $7,000 a year on cigarettes alone, okay? $7,000 a year on cigarettes alone. So if you were, saw a stat, and it was like if you were to take all that money and you were to invest it, and then you were doing that for the next, I think 20 or I don't know how many years to come, you'd be a millionaire. So it's like, it's crazy. One small change can truly change everything for you. Okay, and it's just about showing up, having a strong reason to do it in the first place, and never giving up. Okay, and one habit at a time I find is easiest. Okay, so if you just work on one at a time, especially if you're doing this on your own, like just one at a time, you'll be all set. Okay, just give you guys examples of motivation. So I got a client; she actually just graduated her foundation, her first phase, and with her program. And she ended up losing, I think it was 26 pounds, and she's back now to feeling like the best she's ever felt in her body. It was her birthday the other day, and she was talking about how like she's feeling better now than when she was even younger. She is able to eat the food she wants now. She's broken her bad habits. She's taking control of her nutrition. She's able to, enjoy those snacks here and there with her kids and stuff. And she's just living her best life. And now she's got more energy. She's got more motivation, more confidence. She's got a new job. Like, this girl is absolutely crushing it. And guess what? She's earned it too. So imagine how good that girl feels because she didn't just go take a shake to make this change happen, which we all know is not sustainable. She actually put the work in. She showed up for herself, made these changes, and I'm so freaking happy for her. Like, that's what it's all about, because what she's going to do is, it's the ripple effect. That girl is going to help inspire her kids to motivate them to be healthy and strong and work on themselves when they get older. And she's also going to affect everyone else around her. They're going to ask her, how did you do that? How did you make these changes? And she's going to help them. And then all those people are going to help themselves and get better and better and better. So it's like, remember, you making these changes happen is one of the best things ever you could do for yourself, your family, and everybody else around you. Because, the biggest way to help people make a change is do it yourself, be the role model so they can look up to you and get inspired and then go change themselves. Okay? For example, it wouldn't make any sense for me to be a coach and to do this if I didn't live this lifestyle, right? And that's why I'm so passionate about this stuff and helping you guys do this, because it's like, I'm not special. I've done this myself. I live this lifestyle myself. I show you guys every single day. And it's like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Never sell yourself short. You can 1000% do it. And I get it. I've been there. I was like, what the hell is the point, Dad and my brother, for working out? I don't understand why you think that would be, why would I do that? And I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. And I had a hard time getting into it. Okay, so I'm just telling you, you can do this, and you should, because it's so amazing for yourself, and where it can take you in your life. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay, so that is training for today. All right. So if you have any more questions, shoot me a personal message on Facebook, or you can comment down below, message me on Instagram at coach.hayward, wherever you want. I'm always here to help out. If you like this training and if you watched it this far, leave a smiley face down below just to make sure everyone's paying attention here. And lastly as well, of course, if you need some help, I'm here to support you. Either if I'm the right fit for you or me pointing you on a better direction, whatever it may be, I'm just here to help you make this change happen. I believe that the clients who truly need my help will sign up and work with me. And the clients who don't need my help and it's not a right fit, I will be able to point them on a better path or a different path. So if you want that help, just shoot me a message. Just message me CH and we can break that down as well. Okay, I'm that CH family. I hope this training was helpful for you. I'm going to tag everyone in this because this was so powerful. And watch this a few times. Take action on this. Show up for yourself every single day and never, ever give up. Because if you refuse to quit, then you will not lose. You'll find a way if it's important enough. You got this. Keep moving forward.